Welcome back to the course, friends. So previously we have built this app and we have reached somewhere at this level, and I have make this and a little change in the app bar, and this is for I have shifted from this machine to another from previous machine to another machine, and this is just to check that my machine is working fine. So ignore that thing, it hardly matters. So now what we did previously, what we did, we have coded all the things in one file, but the best programming practice is to have a different file for every complex widget, and we are going to do that in this lesson. So let us start. First we go to here and we will make a new file and answer this file to question dot uh, questions dot dot. So our new file is ready. What we are going to do this in this file, we will replace the logic of this text widget into this question dot dot file. If we see in this thing, this is the widget that is changing. If we press that thing, if we press the answer button, this is the only thing that is changing on the screen. So I want to have a separate file or a separate file for this widget, and we will name this file as question widget as the question is changing in this thing. So in this we have our class name questions, which extends a stateless widget, which I have already explained you people, and it automatically imports uh, so material dot dot file, and this thing have its own build method. Now what we do, this thing returns a, you can say, a text widget, and inside this text widget we have so what we will do, we will pass, we have our question widget here, we will pass our question from this file to this file, and then we have a constructor to initialize that values for us. So for that we have a, first we need to have a string, and questions index, yeah, questions uh, in this what we have, we will have a constructor which I have already discussed with you people, and that constructor, in that constructor we will set the, we will set the value of this question to what we received in the arguments. So I hope you people have the concept of constructors in the previous videos. If you don't know what are constructors, kindly follow my previous videos, and I will do the shortcut way for writing constructor. In this I will use this keyword, and I have already told you the concept of this keyword. It means that the value of whatever the value passed in the constructor, it is going to be stored in this string. So now our value is initialized. What we will do, we will use this in our text widget. So we have our constructor ready here. Okay, so it is giving this thing as I am not going to change the value in between, so I can write this as final. It means that this value is final and it is not going to change anytime in this class. So now we have the logic of our question widget, our custom widget here. What we will do, we will replace this text widget with the one widget which we have already made, and that is the question widget. And if I click this thing, you can see that it has automatically imported that file for me. Okay, so this file in the main dot file, it has imported that file for me. So what we will do here, we have our own custom widget of questions, question widget here, and when dot run this thing, it now what I have already told you people, that we have stateless widget. In stateless widget, we cannot internally change the state of the widget or the state of the app, but externally we can change the state of the widget. Now in this case, if you go by this whenever this answer button is pressed, it calls this state, it calls this you can say it call the set state method, and which ultimately calls rebuild the whole app. But when this build method runs, it just checks the flutter. Thanks to the flutter, it checks which things are actually changing on the screen. So when it goes by this, when it encountered this question, it just passes the value of that question to this question dot file, and now we have a separate build method for this question dot file. So instead of rendering the whole screen, it just changes this one portion of the screen. So our logic is pretty much the same. On top of it, we have our question you can say widget, your question widget in a separate file. Now in the next video, we will see how we can add how we can style this question widget in our own way. And this is why I call that Flutter is very flexible thing. So let us run this program once again. So you won't see any difference here because we haven't put any styling difference here. The only difference is, so it is pretty much the same, things are working the same way. Now in the next lecture, we will work on the styling of the app.